right, thank you, Vanessa. Keep it going for Vanessa Dawn. September in Seattle. I'm loving it. That means I can go back to dressing like I got lost on the way to a logging camp. Dig it. You know, every like 3-4 months or so, I like to pop into a Walmart just to check in with America. See what's going on. Like, I live here in Seattle, which is like technically America, you know, but like where they put the Walmarts, that's America, America. I like going and checking that out. I like going there partially because just walking around with a giant iced coffee being a mediocre white shit is very comforting. But I just like seeing like craziness because once you cross the threshold of a Walmart, you have entered into a zone where chill no longer exists. It's a madhouse in there. Total shit show. And it's like, it instantly when you walk in, it's like night and day. You like, I'm in Mordor, now I'm in the Shire, now I'm in Mordor, now I'm in the Shire. It's like the social contract isn't a physical thing, but when you walk into a Walmart, you swear you can see it crumble. I'm surprised there's not just violence happening there on a regular basis. I expect to turn a corner one time and see 2 dudes in tank tops beating each other to death with a reasonably priced jug of Tide. Sometimes it spills over into the parking lot. I saw 2 Muslim dudes in dashikis choking each other out over a parking spot. And then for a second there, I was like, this is who a lot of people are worried is coming into our country? Because as far as I'm concerned, these 2 dudes got America figured out. In fact, I think that should just be our citizenship test. Whenever somebody comes into this country, it's like, oh, it says here you're from Sudan. Okay, cool. No, quick question. Are you willing to fist fight in a Walmart over a box of Pampers? Yes? Welcome to America. Another reason why I was there is because I joined a gym recently because I'm aging up. I turned 46 this year, and I gotta like reverse a lot of bad decisions. Like honestly, I didn't think I'd be here this long. My people die early, but now I got to do the work, you know, to like back that up. Now a lot of times it feels like going into a gym at age 46 years old is a lot like trying to finish your science project the night before it's due. Like, maybe if I pretend that I'm sick, I can turn it in the day after tomorrow. There's a lot of things that suck about getting older, man. Like 46 years old, I can't watch MILF porn anymore. Like the last time I put on MILF porn, I was like, that woman is 23 years old. MILF is just porn talk for no longer 18. That's all. You want to know what MILF porn looks like to a 46-year-old man? My version of MILF porn now is just a woman with her hair in a bun making a pot roast. I joined a gym. I'm trying to get healthier. I'm one of those people now that gets up at 5:30 in the morning, 5 to 6 days a week and goes to a gym, which I'm having a hard time getting used to the fact that I'm awake at 5:30 in the morning and I am not in a drug den. It's very different. I mean, I didn't realize you have to be like properly attired when you go to the gym. So I was at the Walmart. I bought a garment called compression shorts. I think some of you know what that is. Let's hear you clap if you do not know what compression shorts are. Okay, so I'm not the only idiot. That feels good. Compression shorts are very tight underpants that are designed to keep your dick part from wagging around when you're on the treadmill, which is a good thing. You need to keep your Foot Locker stowed. But the ones I bought had this little pouch in front of the dong, and I didn't know what that was for, so I had just been keeping my keys in there. Turns out, what it actually is for ventilation to keep airflow moving through. I didn't know that, so now I no longer keep my keys in the pouch, but I have another problem, and that problem is when I go home and pull my keys out to enter my apartment, I start to smell corned beef and cabbage. Look, I'm not delivering you any news, people. You know that balls, when they get sweaty, can smell, and brass holds odor. So don't do me. Yeah, it's I lost 25 pounds, and I will take that, but 25 pounds I think is not, I don't know if that's woo weight, I think it's just some weight. But I'll take it, thank you folks. But I still got a long way to go. It was evident to me when I was in a bookstore a couple weeks ago, and people on the bookstore, these other couple, had a box of donuts that they set down on the shelf, and the lady who worked at the bookstore came up to me and she goes, "So those are your donuts?" And I was like, "No, I only look like those are my donuts." But the problem was, I said that too late. So, because my first reaction was I got uppity, like a fat woman that was insulted by Groucho Marx in an old movie. I was like, "Oh, I never." And I said, "No, I only look like they're my donuts." If you're too late with that comeback, that is crash and burn right there. That's what that is. And then really, I don't have a problem with my appearance. I only got I have two fitness goals really. My first fitness goal is I want to be able to fuck my old lady from behind without falling over like a rotten log. And the other one is I want to be able to buy pants at a store that doesn't have the word surplus in the name. I would love to be able to shop one of these days at a store that doesn't outfit doomsday preppers. Because look, I'm a big guy, they don't have stuff on the rack for guys like me if you're built like me. If you're built like me, you got two options. Usually you can order stuff on the internet or you have to order out of a fat guy catalog. And I don't know if you've ever seen a fat guy catalog, but the people who run those things seem to think we like a whole lot of tie-dye. They're like, "Here, fat, so you don't have any dignity. Why don't you wear this shit?" I know you don't have trouble with people seeing you. Why don't you buy this here t-shirt that makes you look like a wedding cake? And speaking of wedding cake, I had to stand up at a friend's wedding, and I needed wedding clothes because when you're in a wedding, you can't wear clothes that have the words "iron" or "maiden" on them. And so I'd go get wedding clothes, but you also can't buy wedding clothes out of a catalog or online because they have to fit right. And for them to fit right, somebody needs to measure you out, right? And when you go to get measured, that means on that day, two people are going to be bummed. Because what I'm working with under here isn't good. Underneath this shirt looks like what would happen if you put tattoos on ice cream. And then dropped it at the zoo. Yeah, see, look, I don't really have a problem with how I look, as I said. I've told people I'm built like a candle. I'm pretty hot on the top, but the rest looks like melting. And I once used my weight to get out of a seatbelt ticket in Reno, Nevada. I said these words to a state trooper's face. I said, "I am too fat for the belt." Didn't even challenge me. He just sat there like he was fucking RoboCop. And he was using that green computer brain of his, properly assess my lie. He was like, 90, too fat for the belt, 98% probability. On your way, citizen. I had a weird upbringing, you guys. I was raised by hippies. My parents were big hippies. Yeah, it's weird being raised by hippies because, my parents had this weird way that they wanted me to engage with the world. And what they opted to do is they wanted me to, look at age-inappropriate shit, and then they wanted to have a conversation with me. They gave me a copy of The Joy of Sex for my 12th birthday. They didn't even wrap it. I came home from school and it was on my bed. It was open to a picture of the clitoris. I think my mom did that one, look, it was nice that she wanted me to learn, but it felt a little judgy. It was like she was saying, "Honey, your father and I haven't figured out if you're going to grow up to be very handsome, so we think you're going to need to know a few things." I catch them fucking too, all the time. More times than you want to catch your parents fucking. And if you're keeping track at home, that number is zero. 0 times that you want to catch your parents. I would come home and they'd be going at it, and I'd be like, "Oh, Jesus Christ." And being hippies, they'd be like, "Well, we don't believe in Jesus in this house." And I was like, "I don't think you're getting the point." And they said, "Well, we thought you were staying overnight at Joe's this weekend." And I said, "Well, Joe got sick and I had to come home. Can you at least cover up?" And my parents would be like, well, this is what couples in love do. And I said, yes, I know that, but you are in the backyard. They grew and sold their own weed and had no problems taking stolen merchandise for it. I grew up in a house that had 1 TV and 9 cable boxes. And the first time I ever saw a picture of Jesus, I thought he was the Zigzag Man. And this is pretty much the result you get right here, too. This is what happens when you're raised by not 1, but 2 people who thought it was a good idea to trade weed for a waterbed. Is that I grew up to look like a wizard that you would summon if you needed help hot wiring a car. I'm a 46-year-old man that owns ninja stars. And I once went to a white trash themed party where my costume was just a t-shirt I already owned. Basically what I'm telling you guys is I'm a dude that dudes with face tattoos think is their friend. I don't know what it is about this face, but people seem to think it's safe to be shitty around it. I've had complete strangers come up to me and tell me about entire episodes of Sons of Anarchy. And worse than that, I always get a forced-on conversation with a lonely racist. Way more girls' conversations than I'm comfortable with. Like, I have a new life skill though, is I know when I need to be somewhere else very fast. Because I can tell from 3 blocks away when a neighborhood crazy looks like he needs to enthusiastically share a racial slur with me because he thinks I might cook meth. And I can't even stand near the door of a bar without people just handing me their ID. So it's like some of the words I've said to women more than any other. I'm sorry, I'm not following you. I live this way too. And I get it. I seem like I own a sword. Or at the very least, I seem like I might live in a van with some sort of a weird pet. You know, like the kind of pet that you have to feed other pets to. It's like, hey baby, you want to come back to my van and watch me feed rats to a monitor lizard? I get in a lot of trouble, I have a book problem, I read a lot, but I like to read creepy shit, and that stays in my brain. Locked up in here is just a whole font of like creepy facts. And I have another personality defect that when I hear somebody being wrong about something, I gotta interject in and correct with the fact. And sometimes I hear somebody being wrong about something creepy, and that's when shit, like, that goes sideways quick. Because, like, I heard someone talking about Kevin Spacey and calling him a pedophile, and that's technically inaccurate because Kevin Spacey was trying to fuck on teenagers, and that's a different thing. But you cannot go up to a stranger and be like, excuse me, sir, technically Kevin Spacey is an ephebophile, not a pedophile. Yeah, I know, you see, pedophiles, they're attracted to prepubescence, whereas pedophiles are attracted to postpubescence. I'm sorry, I'm not saying it's not also creepy, I'm just saying it's different. I apologize, I have bad knowledge. Woo! It also screws up my dating life too, because I was on a date with a woman about a year ago, and then she, as a joke, said, oh, I'm so tired, I wish someone would just chloroform me. And without thinking, I said, that doesn't work how it does in the movies. I didn't stop there, I kept going. A lot of people think it's like a one-to-one thing, like the gas they give you when you have surgery, but it's not, it's topical. You have to spray it on a rag and shove it on her face, and spray it on a rag and shove it on her face, and spray it on a rag and shove it on her face. And sometimes you gotta do that like 12 or 15 times, and they might never go out. But you know what else they get wrong in the movies? They always pull someone's head back when they cut their throat. That's not the right way to do that. That's just for the camera. See, when you pull someone's head back, the sinew and muscle in your neck gets very, very tight. It's like steel cables. You really have to go in. You might never, a better way to do that is push it forward. It's nice and soft. And just, hey, where are you going? Been thinking about legalized marijuana these days, which is very cool. I like that we've legalized marijuana. I used to be a wake and baker. I don't smoke so much anymore. I also started thinking about like, phony baloney kind of like bars that pretend to be speakeasies from the 1920s, which I'm through with. I'm sick of that bullshit. Big time. Like, first of all, we should define what a speakeasy was. A speakeasy was not a kitschy environment where tech workers would go to crawl behind a repurposed bookshelf in order to pay too much money for an old-fashioned made out of oranges they grew on the roof. A speakeasy was a hellhole of a basement where poor people went to drink antifreeze out of the bathtub until they were paralyzed. It's like, if you leave a bar and you don't have a limp, you were not at a speakeasy. But I started thinking that now legal weed, what they should start doing is they should start opening up pot shops that recreate the experience of buying weed in a sketchy situation. Like a haunted house, like, you go to those corn mazes where people dress up like Freddy Krueger and chase you around? That weed shop should be like that. There should be a guy sitting there that when you walk in, he tells you have to smoke crack with him in order to prove you're not a cop. Because young people need to know what it was like. Young people need to know what kind of horror we used to have to go through if we wanted to be comfortably high on a Friday night. Back when our only option was to ride around town on a city bus and hope we saw someone who looked guilty. I had to buy weed. I had to get into a car with a stranger. I had to take a ride in a shit brown Ford LTD with a dude who looked like Charles Manson, who I met 10 minutes ago in the parking lot of a roller rink, just on the off chance there was weed at the end of this story. And I always had to take the ride, too, because I was the big guy. In my high school crew, they'd say, "You get into the car with him, Jason." I'd say, "Why me?" And they would say, "Well, in case you have to fight him." I'm like, "You fucking fight him? Are you out of your goddamn..." I'm 14 years old. I cannot go hands with this Vietnam-looking motherfucker. This is a dude who 100% took a shit in his own helmet while maintaining eye contact with Charlie. That's not a fight I'm going to come out on the right side of. What they were saying to me is that I look like I could take the most punishment until whatever resembled help arrived. You know how happy I was when my high school crew got a second big guy? No way you'd say, "I'm sorry, Tony, this weekend is your weekend to maybe get murdered." I gotta get out of here, folks. All I'm saying is I don't think drug deals should end with a receipt. I think drug deals should end with you having to run away. Hey, you guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Jason Goad. Are you guys ready for your headline? All the way from California, he's got a new Amazon special coming out. Y'all make some noise for Brian Posey.